I'm from Rochester, New York, originally. I started my interest in music when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, but it was classical music that I was interested in. I started checking out the Canadian orchestra, and Glenn Gould was a Canadian pianist that I loved. There was just something about that guy. He was very tall and lanky and awkward, and just as a kid I started watching him play the piano, and he sat really low, which was unusual, so his hands were up real high, and he was really sort of into the movement when he played, and he was always playing Bach whenever I saw the orchestra play. Something about that guy spoke to me, and I just continued to watch him, and that led into me playing drums, and that happened by way of me just banging on things at home, just like every other person, you know. I never really had exposure to a drum kit until much later when I got older. My junior year, I had seen a posting for a drum set for sale, and at that point I still hadn't had a drum kit really, and I just would stare at it in between classes. I'd come to play on the drums or whatever. It was fairly expensive, and you know, but I would just stare at it and think, oh, it'd be cool to have that drum kit. I think it was either a week or 2 weeks later, I got home and my mom handed me an envelope, and inside the envelope was a check for the amount of the drum set and a note from my music teacher and his wife. And they said, you know, we'd like you to buy this drum set. We'd like you to have it so that you can really get your career started. So Mom and I decided that, you know, it's just too much, we can't accept it, you know. And so we go to his house and we tell him, you know, this is too much for us and we're really grateful, but you know, we can't accept it. And he and his wife insist, and so of course we accepted. And I just remember sitting on the couch looking at them, and my mom, you know, for us it was hard because, you know, we didn't have any money, and so we were just looking at it, and she was watching me and I was looking at the drums. And so I opened up and I had my mom help me, and they were just beautiful Gretsch drums. I mean, they were in such great condition, so well cared for. Now the great twist to the story is that fast forward to when I had gotten an endorsement with Yamaha, I called up my teacher and I said, Ned, listen, you know, I can't use these drums anymore. And I'd love to keep them, but I think the right thing is to sort of give them back to you and, you know, find someone else that needs drums or whatever. So we all agreed that was a good idea, and so Ned contacted the original owner, and he actually wanted them back. So he bought them back, and his drum kit, which was a Yamaha kit, he donated that kit to a student that needed them in the same situation. So it was a really great, sort of a great moment for everyone. So from college, you know, I started touring and playing, and I actually got my first opportunity to do a Broadway show, first national tour of Jelly's Last Jam, just before I left college. And I did that playing percussion and drum set, and I was just subbing for the guy, but it was a great experience, and that was sort of my introduction to that world, you know, theater world. And then I just really got into the Broadway scene. The Book of Mormon, I got a phone call from Giancarlo De Trisi, who's the original touring drummer, and Sean McDaniel is the original drummer on Broadway, who actually wrote the book. So Giancarlo said that he was, ready to do something else, and he sort of in passing said, "Oh, would you want to do this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd like to do it." I had to think about it because there was a lot involved in it. But I mean, as far as the music is concerned and the show itself is concerned, it was a no-brainer. I mean, the music is great. The drum book is one of the best that I've ever had a chance to play. You really have to lay a good groove down, and that was great for me. I mean, that's sort of what I love to do now anyway. I can't do any of the other stuff anymore, so it was just perfect. So this is a drum kit that Sean created on Broadway, and it basically has the elements that control all the click and the aided track for the entire show, which is from this machine right over here. There's a lot of African percussion in the show, so there's a djembe, and Sean did all the programming for the machine as well, and all of the synthetic African stuff that you hear. He programmed each one of those, so it actually sounds really great. It sounds like people are really playing. And I just sort of accent it with the parts that he wrote on the djembe. So I have, standard kit, 10, 12, 14-inch tom with a 22-inch bass drum, 14 by 5.5 snare drum, and a plethora of cymbals and toys and whatnot here. And I hear everything through this Aviom, and I can follow the cast on stage here, and then I follow the conductor on this TV over here. For the Broadway stuff, I use the Tommy Igoe stick and the Russ Miller. They're just perfect for that application. For me, it was about the feel of the stick, the longevity of it. To be able to do 8 shows a week, I have to have a stick that can really take that. And in this show, we really play. It's not like you're playing really soft all the time. You really get to open up and play a bit. So, Vic Firth just has a variety of options, and I think that I'm still being surprised, discovering new things that are great for me to apply to the different applications that I have.